Welcome everybody to part 2 of our random turtle art. We left off with creating a random variable for red, green, and blue colors. The way the turtle graphics color codes work is that it needs to be between 0 and 1. So we have created a range from 0.01 to 0.99. So let's go ahead and run this and see what we get. And now you can see we're getting our colors. So what we want to do now is be able to create a bunch of circles at one time. And when we want to repeat something over and over again, we use a programming construct called a loop. And so we are going to create a loop that creates many different circles at one time. So down here at the bottom of our code, we're going to write a comment that says creates multiple circles with random characteristics. So we will ask the user how many times they want to actually create a circle. So we'll say times is equal to input how many circles would you like to draw? Would you like for me to draw? And then we'll use that in our loop. So we'll say for circles in range, and we'll pass in the times or the number of times we want someone to draw the loop. And we end with a colon. We create a variable for the x position and call the random library and use randint. And we'll say anywhere between 20 and 250. Oh, we want it to go from anywhere on the screen, so we'll do negative 380 and 380. And then we'll create a random position for the y. We'll use a random randint method again, and we'll go from negative 380 to 380 on our canvas. And each time through the loop it's going to create a new x variable and y variable. So then we'll go use the pen.goTo method and we'll pass in our x and y position parameters. And then we need a random radius for the circle, so we'll create a variable called radius and set it equal to random randint, and we'll do them anywhere between circles can anywhere be between 5 and 100. And then we need random colors, so we'll create a random number for the r, so we'll say random.randint, and our lower range will be 0.01 and our upper range will be 0.99. And then we'll do that for green. If you want to copy and paste, that's okay. So that's 3 values for red, green, and blue, and then we'll pass them into our color method. We'll put our pen down. Did we do a random width? We did not, so let's do pen.randomWidth, and we will, so we need to do width is equal to random randint, and we'll do it anywhere between 1 and 10. And then we'll pass that into our pen width. We can then put our pen down. And then we need to draw our circle. So we'll say pen dot circle and pass in our radius. And just to make that our code neat, we're going to put this right under the radius. Oh no, we have to have it after the down. Sorry about that. Otherwise it won't draw the circle if our pen is not down. And then we'll go ahead and pick the pen up. And then let's run it and see how many circles we get. And then it should ask us for, it says we have an error. A non-integer argument 1 for rand range in 160, line 160. So we can go to line 160 by going to our code and going to edit and go to line, and we'll type in 160, and it says it's at the end. So we did something wrong that we doesn't seem to like. So we've got our loop, we've got our X and Y position, I'm not sure where the error is coming from. Hold on one second. Check here again. Our random int doesn't like because it's not an integer that we're using. That's why it doesn't like it. So instead of this, let's just do 0 and 1. Because those are integers. Oops, if you make a mistake like that, you can undo. And I'm going to go ahead and comment out these 3 circles that we did up here for practice. So to do that, all we have to do is go to the top before our first circle and do triple single quotes, and then it turns green, and then right before our loop we'll also do triple single quotes, and that comments out the code so the computer doesn't use it. So now we can just test this code and see how it works. And now it's going to ask us to, let's draw 100 circles. And you can see that it's drawing 100 circles of different colors and different sizes. So now let's try to add some lines. So a typical line would be from point A to point B. We could use the go-to method, but we could also use the forward method. So we'll say for lines in range, and we'll also pass in times again. We'll have the same number of circles as lines. And now what we need to do is to call a random length. So we'll say length of line is equal to rand_int, and we'll make the lines equal from anywhere between, let's say, 10 and 200 pixels long. So now we can say that we want to say pen dot forward, and we're going to pass in length. And then each time we want to draw this line, we need to put our pen down and also pick our pen up after each one is done. Now if we want the lines to be in different positions, we've got to use our go-to code up here. So we'll copy this go-to code and put that down above our go-to, our length. So we're going to go to a particular position, and then we're going to choose a random length, put our pen down, and go forward. We can also use color to change the length, the type of color that we have for our line. But I think I'm actually just going to use black this time. So I'm going to set the pen color to black. Alright, so let's draw this and see what we get. And we have to enter how many circles would you like to draw, so let's do 50 this time. And now we can watch it draw for us. So first it'll draw the circles. Oh, and it's now drawing interesting lines. So we might want to put the lines in the back. Before we draw it and see what effect that gives us. So all we have to do to make the lines draw first is cut it and put the lines above our circles. And don't forget your comment. So let's go ahead and run it again. And let's just do 10. Oops, times is not defined. Oh, because we need to put our input line first. So let's do that. And now we'll try to run it. And we'll put in 20. And now we can watch it draw our lines and our circles. And voila, we have a piece of modern art. So I entreat you to try other shapes. You might try squares of different colors and sizes, or rectangles. And also, how would you make some of the circles filled and others not filled? And that's it for this tutorial. See you next time.